Hi, my name is Allie. I am a BCBA at the Woodford Clinic. I did my undergraduate in psychology, and then I found myself with Teach for America, which moved me to Kentucky in teaching in Eastern Kentucky. And I really found that ABA was a bridge between the psychological side of things and the individualized education.
I really love that multidisciplinary approach and the fact that I get to collaborate with a lot of different types of therapies throughout my day and have that collaboration and additional perspectives for when I am working through a case. I think one of the things that makes our ABA perspective unique is being able to be flexible with the families and think about the whole child. We're not stuck on a certain hour recommendation. We're able to really recommend truly the clinical need for the learner, and we keep in mind if they're in school and doing well, if they're in other therapies, how much social engagement they need, and we're able to really individualize the recommendations to kiddos. I think part of the clinical recommendation feeds into that, and that we're able to consider the family's circumstances and the client's clinical needs, but then also we're very client-led and trauma-informed in how we approach our services for our learners. It is handled in a way that allows for us to all be treated as an equal therapy. So collaboration is something that I think is a foundational principle for APT. And as such, there's a culture of looking at each other as experts in our disciplines. And so it's a very open door conversation about how we can continue to support the learners that we share. One of my personal and professional pillars is support and relationship building. And so I would like to think that that is the impact that I'm making in being a supportive therapy for my clients, being a support system for my RBTs, and then really building those relationships with my family so that they feel comfortable with the therapeutic process. I think a clinician who is very collaborative and who is really open-minded to growing and continuously learning, and someone who's flexible and willing to kind of roll with the punches, the full clinic. I think that our ABA team does a really good job at treating ABA like any other therapy, and I think we're held in the same regard and respected, and we're given that flexibility to build our schedule and our caseloads as we need to, and I think that is something that puts APT above other clinics.
I think the most common challenge that I've faced is just balancing the administrative side of things with the clinical side of things, and making sure that they're not taking away from each other. And one of the ways that I've really worked to find balance in that is by focusing and prioritizing my lists and making sure that I carve out time to do my administrative tasks so that I can be present with my clients during the sessions. I was really fortunate to have a supervisor who really wanted to answer my questions and really wanted to pour information into me. And so I think that really helped me to be open to asking for help and asking questions. And so I think the biggest piece of advice I can give is ask everybody that you can for their perspective on it. I think that's part of why I like APT so much, is because if I have a speech question, I can just walk down the hall. And so I'm always able to continue to learn and grow and ask those questions. And I mean, even 3 years in, I'm asking questions every day.
I think the way that supervision and mentorship is approached here is more as an resource and less as a restrictive process. So I'm able to ask for help when I need it, but I'm also able to make my own clinical decisions.
I think a lot of that comes down to the small moments with them. So I try to be really consistent with my parent trainings and making sure that they have opportunities for support and ongoing learning of what their kiddo needs. And then I try and catch moments at pickup or drop off with them where I can follow up on little things that are important to them to get that buy-in and keep that momentum going.